We'll see you next week.
5 days later, I lied.
Welcome to Dugout Chatter, the newest and most obscure baseball commentary channel yet. We are your hosts, Jacob Williams and McKay Giffen. We will be covering the latest baseball news and predictions for the upcoming seasons. Welcome to the Dugout. And welcome back to another edition of Dugout Chatter. And today we're going to bring you our top 10 power rankings. But before we get to that, remember you can follow us on Facebook at dugout.chatter16, Instagram at dugout.chatter, and also subscribe to us today on YouTube and let us know what you think of the video down in the comments section below. And just as a quick side note, our power rankings are current as of last night's victories. So today's games are not counted.
And today's April the 12th.
Yes,
so you guys know.
At the end of April 11th is what these are based off of. And with all that in mind, Jacob, lead us off on our top 10 power rankings list.
All right, guys. So first, before we go in depth in our top 10 power rankings, these power rankings are not based on record. It's based on how great or good we believe the teams are, and also the level of competition that they've played up to this point, because there are some teams with great records so far that have played mediocre teams, and that's a reason why they have a great record. So
that was my phone.
All right. So getting back to the point, so that's why. So there are some teams with great records that are not in our top 10 power rankings.
Yeah, we wanted to take everything into consideration, like overall talent, schedule they've faced, and everything. We don't want it to be like kind of Seattle's case. Spoiler, they're on the list, but you know they've had it. The toughest team they've played is like who, the Diamondbacks, or
yeah, something like that. So so basically we're going to start off with number 10, the Atlanta Braves. So currently they're 7-5. They are one game back in their division in the NL East. McKay has them winning the NL East. I have the Mets winning the NL East.
I'll see you in October.
So yes, we will see each other in October if the Braves make it. They've played okay up to this point. They've played okay kind of competition. They just signed two of their younger key guys.
Yep, they just signed Ronald Acuna Jr. and then Ozzie Albies got his spare change at it was 7 years for $35 million.
I believe so.
Yeah, and Acuna got the $100 million for 8 years.
Yeah,
locking up some young talent like that, and these are guys like in their early 20s, so they'll be making a lot of chaos in Atlanta for a while.
Yeah, and the Braves are going to be a good team coming up. You know, they struggled to start the season. They got swept by the Phillies on the road. Then they come back and they sweep the Cubs at home. They win the series against the Marlins. They go and they win 2 out of 3 against the Rockies, and that third game got postponed due to rain. And they've lost the first game to the Mets last night in the opening series. So, you know, they're playing well. We'll just see where they can go to and stuff like that. So our 9 team in our power rankings is the Cleveland Indians. They're 8-4. We both have them winning a weak American League Central.
I think I took the Twins.
Yeah.
I just don't see Cleveland as a force this year.
And
their offense is kind of terrible.
And they're 8-4. They lost the opening series against the Twins. They split a 2-game series with the White Sox, and the White Sox have just been playing horrible. They swept a 4-game series against the Blue Jays, which was great for them. They won a series against Detroit, and then they have they're opening up a series against the Royals tonight, which they should win. So they should have a great record at the end of the season, and they'll probably be around in our top 10 power rankings throughout the year. But, you know, that's just kind of because we both believe the division's weak, and when the division's weak, you play a lot of division games, so you're going to play a lot of weak teams, which will formulate into easy
And especially
wins.
with Cleveland's pitching staff, they can take down just about any offense pretty easily.
Yeah. So, McKay, why don't you tell them about our 8th team on the power rankings list?
So, number 8, you saw them last year. They have the reigning National League MVP. We're talking about the Milwaukee Brewers. They're coming in at a record of 8-5. And Yelich got off to a hot start, hitting homers in the first 7 games of the season. Got Lorenzo came back. He's still tearing it up. Their pitching rotation, as far as their starting pitching, is kind of the more shaky part. They got a strong bullpen, strong offense, and I think they can repeat a lot of what they did last year.
And they're also tied for first with the Cardinals in the in the NL Central, and the Cardinals are going to be a little bit further up on this list. I feel like they're going to be a great team. I feel like we both agree that they're going to make the playoffs.
But starting pitching is the factor for them.
Yeah,
if they got stronger starting pitching, other than having guys that go out looking like middle relievers, that could help.
But as of now, we have them at number 8 on our power rankings list. Number 7 is a team that's getting a lot of love right now, and certainly they deserve the love, is the Seattle Mariners. So the Seattle Mariners, they're 13-2 right now.
Best record in baseball.
And you look at that, and it's like, that's awesome. That's great. They're playing so well. They have a lot of good talent and a lot of good pieces, but they really haven't played it. The Athletics have been okay. They played them in a 2-game series to open up, and they won that.
Yeah, you're playing a bunch of like kids that got cut from the varsity team and then transferred to another high school.
Yes.
Like your competition's not that fierce right now.
Yeah, and you know, you played the Red Sox. You won 3 out of 4 to open up the, I could say, season for everybody. And you know, I think everybody, you kind of caught the Red Sox sleeping there. You know, you won a 2-game series against the Angels. You played the Royals in a 4-game series. You swept that, which you should. You played the White Sox in a series. You won that series, or you didn't lose that series. You basically, well, you did. So out of a 4-game series with the White Sox, McKay, they won 2 out of 3, and one of the games was postponed due to weather. So you look at it in a whole, they haven't lost the series all year, but they just have not played anybody.
Tough team. Like after we see them face like a Houston or
they play Houston tonight. They're gonna get tested. So
tonight's their first real taste
to see if they're real or not. And we have them
if they're contenders or pretenders.
That's right. So at number 6, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, the Los Angeles Dodgers, they started off hot. They were doing really well, and they really have kind of struggled toward the end of this week, specifically in the St. Louis Cardinals series that they played against. And we have them at number 6. McKay, what do you think about the Dodgers so far this year?
They kind of have a lot of similar faces from last year. They got to keep Kershaw healthy, get him back to being himself, because that's not going to help anyone having him on the DL. And they still got a lot of good young arms like Buehler. Ryu's really stepped up. Bellinger's just on another planet right now. Yeah. Probably the most versatile first baseman in the game of baseball.
They added A.J. Pollock.
Yeah, A.J. Pollock, another great outfielder. Is Max Muncy? They still got David Freese.
Max Muncy made a crucial error and a loss in yesterday's game against the Cardinals.
But still, hit over 30 homers last year.
Yeah.
And they're kind of just the same old story. You know, they win a lot of games and lose all the games that matter.
Yep, and they were doing great to start off the season. They won a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks. They took 3 out of 4 against them. They took 2 out of 3 against the series against the Giants. They swept the Rockies in a 3-game series, and then they get swept by the Cardinals in a 4-game series this past week. Yeah. And now they play the Brewers. So I feel like we're gonna really see kind of what the Dodgers are made of, because they're starting to.
This is a big stretch for them.
Yeah. So
and didn't Corey Seager just go on the DL for like something small?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers have a lot of depth. But yeah. So talking about the Cardinals, we have them at number 5, 8-5. The reason why we have them up so high, being a team that's only 8-5, is they have a good roster. They've made key additions with Andrew Miller to kind of lock up the back of their bullpen. Jordan Hicks is back there. They have a great bullpen. They've added Paul Goldschmidt, 7-time All-Star, Silver Slugger Award winner. Great guy overall, great player. I think he fits into what the Cardinals scheme is and what they want to do in the Cardinals way.
Matt Wieters, he came up big for them.
Yeah,
he came up big for them yesterday.
And I picked them to win the National League Central.
And they're also turning out some young guys, and they still got Colton Long, who's a really good athletic player.
Harrison Bader.
Yeah, that dude's good.
Yep. So
they're always turning out prospects too.
Yeah, so they played the Brewers, which is a good team. They played the Padres in a 4-game series, which are 9-5.
We also said they just swept the Dodgers.
Yeah, they just swept the Dodgers. Now their schedule's getting a little bit easier, but they play in the NL Central. The NL Central is going to be a tough division all year long. They're going to play some good teams. Their record might not be as glossy or shiny or cool as maybe the Indians or maybe like
The Astros kind of,
but
it could just be them in Seattle this year.
They're going to be they're a good team, and they're number 5 in our power rankings. At number 4 in our power rankings,
we have the drag queens from the Queens.
Yes, the New York Mets.
New York's fake team.
Yeah, so we have the New York Mets. They're 8-4. They're leading the National League East. I have them to win the National League East, and they're just playing really well.
Yeah,
Peter Alonso is playing on another level right now.
He ripped one last night.
Yep,
dead center.
Splash
it was
in
like
Atlanta.
440 on a. You could hang laundry on that. It was great.
Yeah,
and
again,
also their strong pitching rotation. Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard, Steven Matz was bringing it last night.
Zach Wheeler.
Too. Yeah, Zach Wheeler. He's a guy that came back from Tommy John a couple of years ago. He found his way back in there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The biggest question with the Mets is their bullpen. But like the Cardinals and the Brewers, they're a team that's in a tough division. Like they win and they just played the Nationals. They played the Marlins in a 3-game series and they did well against them. They swept them, but they played the Nationals twice. They played the Twins. They're playing the Braves right now, and they're going to be a team that, their record might not be glossy, but they're going to be in a tough division in both the Mets and
when it comes
Cardinals.
And when it comes to the postseason, good starting pitching goes a long way, especially with their rotation and offense.
Yeah.
But let's move into the top 3. And our number 3 team, and this may be a little surprising.
Another team from the National League East, not East.
The fat boys from Philadelphia with their cheesesteaks.
Yes, the Philadelphia Phillies. They're currently 7-4, so they're a half game back from the Mets in the division, and I just think they're kind of like the Mets, except I feel like they have a better bullpen. They have some more guys that are really playing well right now.
They added a ton of guys this year.
Yeah, Real
Gene Segura, Real Muto, Bryce Harper.
Edwin, no, that was the Mets.
They added McCutchen too.
Yeah.
They got Ryan Hoskins, a guy coming back.
They're basically like the Mets, except they have a lot more experience. And that's I feel like we have them a notch above.
Yeah, they just have too much talent. And they also got some good starting pitching too. Mm-hmm. Aaron Nola and all of them.
And our number 2 team, McKay.
Oh, they just swept the Yankees for the first time in their history. Thanks a lot.
Is the Houston Astros. They're second in the American League West. We both have them winning the American League West. They're a great team. What more is there to say? We can just roll off names: Verlander, Cole, Correa, Springer, Bregman. Tyler White's coming on. He kind of came on last year.
Everyone. And there you got
Michael Brantley. They go and they add a guy like that. There's so many names that you forget about guys like that.
And in right field, Josh Reddick. They just got everyone everywhere.
And they're 8-5. We have them number 2 in our power rankings.
Yep, they just swept the Yankees in a 3-game series. And probably the most surprising part is they got to the Yankees bullpen for all of it.
Yep.
And they took that series, and I just sat by and cried. Thanks, New York.
And the number 1 team in our power rankings,
best team in baseball,
is we have the Rays, the Tampa Bay
Rays.
With
the worst stadium in baseball.
They're 10-3, first in the American League East, which a lot of people say is the hardest division in baseball. They play in a great division. They're playing off to a great start. They go and they start the season winning 3 out of 4 from the Astros, which is number 2 which is the second team on our power rankings list. Then you go to the West Coast. You take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies. You take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. You're a team that's not easy to do, and then you go and you play in cold Chicago and you sweep the White Sox, and now they're
Blue Jays. Traveling around. And keep in mind, that's a lot of travel time in between all those games too. Yeah. You got to fly all over the country, and they're still tearing it up.
And I believe they have the Royals coming up. They have the Orioles coming up, and their schedule's kind of getting a little bit easier. They're in a tough division,
but they're going to be
better
playing,
watch out for the Rays.
The Yankees and Boston, who are not on the list.
Yeah.
And those are still 2 teams that won over 100 games last year.
They're going to be playing the Yankees and Boston?
No, Yankees and Boston.
Oh, yes, the Yankees and Boston. Okay.
Open these things up.
I got some big ones. But
yes, they're going to be playing 2 teams that won 100 ball games last year, and both of them are in their division, so they're going to get plenty of matchups, and we'll see a lot more what the Rays are made of. And also, we picked them to go into the wild card this year.
Yeah, we picked them in the wild card.
Boston.
Yep, we did.
And so far, they're making us look pretty smart. But hey, that's why you're here, because you are pretty smart.
Yep.
At Dugout Chatter.
Well, like McKay said at the beginning of the intro, if you guys do enjoy the content, leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about our power rankings, what you would change, what your top 10 power rankings are.
Yeah.
If you do enjoy the content of this channel,
subscribe and like. It helps out a lot.
That's the best way to support the channel. And if you enjoy the content, and you like baseball, we talk about baseball all the time. This is the place to be.
Yeah, man. We have a fun time here. We try to bring it in the most entertaining and factual way possible. So, just stick with us. Keep spreading the chatter.
All right.
And we'll see you in our next edition of Dugout Chatter.
All right. Have a great one, guys.